Welcome back to Amberg Acres. So we are going to do a few more trees yet before we start doing the rocks and stuff over there. This one here right behind me here, this is one that Barb has wanted down for a long time, and I've kind of just been putting it off. And last winter we had a camper sitting here. Somebody had their camper parked here, so she was all worried the whole winter that that tree is going to blow down on top of their camper. So now's the time. We're going to get it down. There's a couple little ones right in here, you know, this big around that I got to take that are leaning out also. So we're going to take a couple of them down, and then we got a bigger one over here in the yard that's dead that we're going to take down. So let's get started on that. I'm just going to notch it and drop it right here. We have pretty much a clear shot towards our garden there. I'm going to try and land it right here in this opening. Try and keep it this way of these trees. And you can see the leaner right here, this little tiny leaner. That one's got to come out of there. I'm going to leave this one here for now. It's not really in anybody's way. It won't hit the trailer if it falls, so it's good enough where it is. So we're going to get going here. I'm going to notch this out and start cutting. So the whole trick for getting a tree to go the right direction, and this one is already leaning that way, so it's not that big of an issue, but I wanted to kind of go towards that other tree there and not necessarily towards our well over here. So you got to try and get your notch in the right spot. Let's take a look at that once. So if you look at the notch here, I kind of have it so that the tree is going to go that way. That's where I have the notch, and I might be a little deep there, but it's no big deal. It'll be fine for this tree here. If you're trying to push a tree a direction that it doesn't want to go, you have to be a little more careful with your notches. But we'll be all right here. I'm just going to make a cut now in the back here, and this should go right where we want it to. All right, it's opening up, so we're gonna go give her a little pull with the tractor. Well, I hate to say perfect, but that one went pretty damn good. Could have gone to the right a little more. But that's the way they break. And I left a little bigger hinge in there this time, just so that I could pull it with the tractor a little bit and get it to go where I wanted it to go. So you can see right here, this is my hinge. So it's about 3 inches here on this side, and it's a little bigger. It's probably 5 inches in out because I kind of went in at an angle. So that normally you would get that down closer to an inch and then the tree would just fall over by itself. But seeing I wanted to pull it with the tractor a little bit, I left that a little thicker just for that reason. Well, once that tree starts moving, man, it's going. There ain't no stopping it. All right, we're gonna get this one cut up, limbed out, and we'll be good to go. Yeah, it's gonna be another hot one today. Probably gonna be in the 80s. Humidity isn't that bad, but my shirt's already wet, you know. So I got this limbed out. So I'm gonna cut it. I got it all marked now for my 84 inches, my 7 feet. And some of these trunk sections here that are relatively straight, I'm gonna take up on a sawmill and I'm gonna cut some stuff out of them. And I don't know, I might save that for another video. But that's what I'm gonna do. Like this straight piece right here is 7 feet of nice thing, and we're gonna just slice some cookies. And if you haven't watched the cookie video, you gotta go back and watch the cookie video. So that's what we're gonna do. Probably these 2 bottom ones. Rest will be firewood, more than likely. I don't know. With all them knots up there, I don't know what that board would look like if I put that on a saw and sliced it into boards. I don't know. Never did oak before, so I don't know. You know, everything I've been cutting has been pine. But we're gonna get this diced up here. If you can drop the tree on something, like another log going the other way like that, that helps with cutting these up, because the log is so crooked and it's under pressure. So if you don't get it just right, it is going to pinch your blade and then you're stuck. And I got the tractor to help me out, so that makes it go a little easier. But if you don't have the tractor, it helps if you could knock another log under there and have this tree land right on a log, then this would be up in the air and it would cut much easier, cutting these pieces off. Alright, that tree is done. We will move on to the next tree. I'll get rid of some of these branches and get them out of the way here. And the logs can lay here for a few days. Ain't gonna hurt them any. So we'll get on to the next tree. Okay guys, so we're gonna do this one a little different. This is a dead oak. It died last year sometime. Because it's in the front yard here, and we want this to be lawn at some point, even though it doesn't look like very good lawn now. Hopefully in the future we can get some dirt brought in and spread it around and get some decent grass growing here. But I dug this out the other day and I dug all underneath there. Now remember, I told you that the oaks have the tap roots. So each one of these big roots coming out, they came out this way and then they had a root going straight down. So I cut all them off. I got them all cut off here on this side. So there really isn't nothing holding it on this side, but you have the same type of roots on that side. So I'm hoping that I can just hook onto this thing with my rope in the tractor and pull it over like we did it with the ones behind the garage. That's what I'm hoping for. We're gonna get the rope hooked on and we're gonna get the tractor hooked up and we're gonna see if we can pull this thing down. It definitely looks like I'm moving it. I just can't tell when I'm up there on the tractor. I can't tell if it's moving or not. Well, it's definitely moving, but it looks like it's going towards the barn, which I don't want. I want it to go towards the street. So I'm going to redo the rope and come over here on this side over here and see if I can pull it that way more and make it go, you know, towards this spruce tree, not towards the barn. I have to apologize again. I forgot to turn the camera back on when I moved the tractor. So I moved the tractor over here further and pulled it towards the road, and then it fell right where I wanted it to, right next to that spruce tree. It was almost perfect. And that's all I needed to do, but you know, I'm concentrating on pulling the tree down, not necessarily having this camera working. So it would help if I had a second person here to man the camera, but I don't. So I apologize again for that. I missed it. But it worked just the way I thought. I mean, the stump ripped right out. So once I get this cut off of here, all I have to do is dig around that a little bit and I'll be able to pull that out. So I don't know if you can see this here. It's so bright out here that I can't see on the camera anything. So right here, see this right in the center of that tree? That's that taproot I'm talking about. And those can go down. I don't know if that broke off or if that's as far as that one was. But you get a bigger tree, that can be down, you know, 8 feet, you know, into the ground. And that's what's holding that tree up. So that worked pretty well. It pulled that one right out. That's what we were our main goal was to get that taproot pulled out of there, which it did. And the weight of the tree, you know, getting the weight of the tree tipping, that helped pull that taproot out. So that's tree number 2 down. We're gonna go drop tree number 3, which I'm not gonna need the tractor or ropes for that one because it's out in the middle of the woods and it's leaning in the right direction. So we're just gonna go take the chainsaw back there and knock her down. Okay, this is a tree right here we're cutting. It's leaning that way down the hill. So we're just gonna cut it right here at the bottom, at the ground level, and then we're gonna fill that in over the top. This is a road I'm making. So right up here is the south side of the barn, where we pulled all them trees out the other day. So this is a road I'm making to come down here. I piled up all that dirt that I pulled out by the barn there. That's going to get used to fill in this road here. So this road is going to go from the barn directly down. I don't know if you can see, there's a rock. Yeah, it's right over here. There's a rock, big rock. That is the driveway into the wood yard. So it's just going to come down and go right into the wood yard. I can get those logs out of the wood yard there, those big pine logs, and come right here up this road. So this tree here, it's kind of in my way because those logs are 14 feet. And I was going to leave it, but there's another one right next to it there. And it's only about 10 feet between the two. So then I always got to stop and I got to kind of jog the log around to get past them. So I thought, you know what, it's just one tree. I'm going to take the one tree down and get it out of there. And that way I can make a nice wide driveway here to get up to the barn with those logs and get them on the sawmill and start cutting. So I will be right back with the chainsaw. All I'm going to do is I'm going to just, I think I'm just going to cut it from this one side here. I might put a little notch on the other side, but I'm just going to cut it and let her go right down the hill. That was almost perfect. So now you see, hopefully you can see that. Maybe I'll get a little closer once here. See, I had this side here, it's still falling. I had this side here cut almost through, and then there was a little bit of a hinge on this side here, and that's why that log rolled like that a little bit, was because it was still attached on this side and not on this side. And that's perfect because the road is going to go right on the left side of that bigger tree down there. And that's perfect. I can clean that up, haul it away, and we're good to go. But that's our 3 trees for today. So let me go make a few cuts on this one here. We'll clean it up a little bit. Now it's down. That tree will make some beautiful cookies. Perfectly straight pieces. What I'm trying to do this time, and this is what I failed on last time, is when you cut these trees down, you basically got to get them cut up, get your cookies cut or whatever you're cutting. If you're going to do slabs for signs or whatever, you need to get that stuff cut up right away. You can't let the log lay, because as soon as it lays for, you know, a week, a month, whatever, that bark is starting to fall off already, you know? So you can't leave it lay. And so I'm trying to get this cut up and get it up there on the sawmill and cut these up right away so I can stack and sticker them and get them somewhere in the barn or somewhere where it's dry and let them air dry. And that way, that should preserve that bark and it'll make a much nicer looking piece of wood, you know? So that's my goal here on these 3 trees, is to try and do that. I'm gonna cut these 3 chunks, these 3 trunk pieces out of here. That'll make some really nice pieces. And then I'm gonna haul them up and get them out of here. I think I'm gonna try and use a strap and pick them up with a strap so I'm not damaging the bark. 'Cause that was one complaint I had about some of the pieces I made previously, was that there's marks in them from the grapple. That's one of the things I gotta try and fix and make them better. The rest of that will be firewood. That whole top end will be firewood. All right, we're good to go. So this hill I'm on here, this is kind of steep. So I'm gonna fill this in quite a bit here on top of this stump yet. You can see here I pushed all the stuff with the roots and stuff over here to kind of, you know, fill in that area. I won't be driving there, I'll be driving more right here, right over that stump kind of. So I'm gonna fill this in with all that dirt and sand from up there and kind of smooth this out up to the ditch up there, and hopefully that makes this not such a steep climb. All right, because the tractor doesn't work well on the steep climbs. Low gear, it can go up pretty much anything, but you know, low gear, it stinks like diesel and everything else. So I like to keep it in second gear if I can. Most of the property now I have it smoothed out to where I can stay in second gear most places on the property, but I don't know, we'll see on this one here what we're gonna have to do yet, but it's a work in progress as always. So I think what I'll do next is, in the coming days or weeks, I'll start on the other end over there and come back this way, clean up those couple of trees that are in my way there. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4 little ones in there that I gotta snip off. Just cut that all up into firewood and haul it across the street, you know? All right, guys, I'm gonna clean this up tomorrow. It's already almost 80 degrees here, and it is the 28th of September. It's getting to the point where I don't want to work in this heat anymore. I was hoping for these days in the end of September here that I could get a lot of this work done, and I'm not getting it done because of the heat. Because I don't like the heat, just like I don't like the freezing cold. I like the stuff in between, and usually fall is my time to get stuff done around here, and it's not working out that way this year. We'll cut this up tomorrow before the Packer game, and I'm gonna go sit in the tree stand. I know it's 80 something degrees out, but you know, I still want to do my hunting also, so I'm gonna go sit in the tree stand for a little bit tonight. The other night, I think it was Wednesday night, I had a nice little 6-pointer and mutt, the one I call mutt, on my August deer pictures come out, and that 6-pointer, that'll be a really nice deer next year or the year after. But I let them go, I let them walk by. I say this every year, you know, if it comes to November and I still haven't shot nothing, then mutt's top on my list, you know. But I say that every year, and then November comes and you don't see mutt anymore. You don't see any bucks for some reason. I got the doe tag, so I should be able to fill that doe tag this year. So, all right, we will see you tomorrow. All right, guys, we're just gonna finish up cleaning up this tree here. Cut all the branches off. For the branches, and I've mentioned this in other videos, I like to use this Milwaukee. It's nice and light compared to that big one. And I can cut, I can cut this here all day, 4 or 5 inches all day. So I'll trim this all the way back until I get to the bigger part of the trunk. And then I start using, I mark all my marks, my 84 inches with the little Milwaukee saw, and then I just get the big one out and I just cut up the trunk, But this saves me a lot on my arms using this little Milwaukee. So we're just gonna get all these branches off. It's nice this one don't have the leaves, so we'll get them all cut off and get some firewood cut up, and then those trunks we'll haul up to the sawmill, and we'll get that sawmill going for another video. We'll show you how we make those cookies. So this size here is about as far as I go for firewood. This is good camping firewood. Throw it in the back of the truck and we take it along camping. And the bigger stuff, any of the bigger stuff I split up. But this is nice stuff to just throw in the truck and take along camping. So the one thing, and I mentioned this before, the batteries last pretty good until you start getting into the bigger stuff or you pinch it. If you're pinching your blade a lot, it kills the battery for whatever reason. Too much torque or whatever, it just makes the battery die quicker. But I bet you, I got 2 more batteries charged up in there. I bet you I'll have this, with those 2 batteries, I'll have this all limbed out. So now when I get to this big part of the trunk here, I just take the tape measure and I mark it with the little saw, 84. I just cut a little notch in there so I can hook the tape measure on, and I go down and measure another 84, and that's how I cut this up. So I got all the branches off of there. I got some little chunks cut up for firewood, and the rest are all being cut to 84 inches. We gonna get the big saw running here, and we'll chop these all off. we'll get that cleaned up with the tractor yet, and we'll be good to go. I got that all cleaned up except for them 3 big chunks right there. Everything's hauled across the street. So I just gotta hand rake it and get the little stuff picked up and whatever. It's time to go watch the Packers beat up on the Minnesota Vikings with their backup quarterback. You know, root for your home team, guys. I'll probably leave this backhoe on here for a couple weeks yet, just in case I run into some stuff I need to do yet. I'm pretty much done with trees now for this year. I got to get over there and get splitting. I never got my box wedge finished or fixed. Just haven't gotten to it. So we'll probably be splitting the old-fashioned way. Other than that, I'll leave that backhoe on for a couple weeks. I have a real issue with that backhoe. That's why I always take it off. So let's take a quick look at that quick here. This thing originally came and had a little hose clamp here and your slow moving vehicle sign here in front of this hydraulic fitting. And that was gone like within the first week I had it. That was busted off, okay? So now every time I have this on, I end up backing into stuff. I back into trees, branches, whatever, because it sticks out way farther than you think. I mean, a regular implement probably barely gets to where the hydraulic controls are on this here. So you got another 4 feet sticking out the back than what you normally do. It really causes issues for me. I back into a lot of stuff with this backhoe on it. So that's why I don't leave it on. The biggest thing I fear is driving into the building or backing into your truck or something with that backhoe. So I always take it back off, but I'll leave it on here for a week or two yet, just in case I find some rocks I got to dig out or something. I know there's a couple around here that I want to get dug out that are going to be an issue down the road. So as long as I got it on there, I might just dig them out. If you like these videos, give me a thumbs up, make sure you subscribe, and we will catch you on the next one.